Okay, so I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to try to create a video with Zoom, and I'll show you guys how to do the work. So let me go ahead and turn on my lights as well. So welcome to my Zoom class, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to actually create a Keith Haring in Gravit. But I want you guys to use to either create your own Keith Haring character in Gravit, or I would like you to create your Keith Haring character in the times that we're living in. So right now we're living in a time of coronavirus and Black Lives Matter and the presidential election, and all these things are colliding all at the same time. And that got me to thinking, what would we do? What would Keith Haring do? What would Keith Haring do, and what would he express as an artist? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go in and grab it, and we're going to create a Keith Haring inspired Black Lives Matter and a Keith Haring inspired coronavirus drawings within Gravit. So let's go ahead and see how this is going to work. I've never done this before, so I'm experimenting, and we'll see how well it works. So I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go into my page. This is a website. So let me go ahead and make sure that everything is optimized and share. Yay. So I already did a search for the characters that I wanted, the images. I'm gonna go ahead and launch Gravit by coming over here and launching Gravit. So this is Gravit and Gravit Designer. And what I'm going to now do is make my page size. Let's make it landscape so it's wider. I'm gonna grab my images. These are the images that I like for Keith Haring that I'm going to use as far as for color, and I'm also going to use them for style. So I'm going to copy this image, and I'm going to go to Gravit, and I'm going to paste it in there. Control V is paste. So there I have these nice pictures of Keith Haring's artwork. And yes, he is one of my favorite artists. I just bought his Uno cards from yesterday's class. When I saw them, I had to get them. So that's one of Keith Haring's. And this is another one where I think I like this particular style because he is actually protesting here, and he's working and being an activist and showing work which is at his particular time, and at that time was all about the AIDS epidemic, and this is about the ACT UP movement, where he was doing artwork for that. So and I'm not too sure if you guys are all familiar, but with the three monkeys. So basically he drew them in the style of three monkeys of see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. And he was making this strong statement in politics. So that's my Keith Haring's that I was looking at. This is one of the pictures I'm going to use. Copy image and come over here. And let's actually make that a coronavirus image. So this I'm using for placement. And what I can do is I can actually select all of these and lock them. So you can lock them. So we can draw on top and have no fear because, you know, we're drawing on top. So I'm going to use my oval tool, and I'm just going to make, you know, he works with simple ovals. So we're just going to, like, you know, create a simple oval, you know, to make the face, you know, to where the head is going to be. I'm going to then make another oval. This is kind of where the shoulders are. So it's kind of rounded. Round it up a little bit, round up the oval a little bit more. I'm going to make some ellipticals. I mean, some rectangles here. And I'm just basically coming down with the shape of what this drawing is going to then be. I'm going to make this bigger. And what I'll do is I'll actually take this shape apart in a little bit as well. So this is now becoming my shape for this particular body. I'm going to do a circle for that particular hand, and a circle for that particular hand. And I'm just creating all of this with rectangles. You could actually draw this yourself if you wanted to as well. You can, and we'll do that for another one where I'm going to show you how to use the pen tool to draw it. But right now I'm experimenting, and it's okay to experiment. That's how we learn. I'm experimenting with this tool and consistency of what I want. So I'm making things the shape and the format that I want. So now that I have that one, I can just drag it over and make sure that it is the same size. Oops, grab the wrong square. So there's that arm. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger over here. So I'm going to grab them all. So I grab them all. I'm going to let go of the circle because I want to let go of the head. And I'm going to use this union so it actually groups it all together. And I'm going to now fill it in with one of my colors that I like, but I'm also going to, I want this is kind of harsh for me here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over, I'm going to make a ellipse. And I'm going to take this and make this kind of like an oval here. So it's kind of, and what this is going to do, let's fill this with let's use this color here. Use the eyedrop tool and pick this particular color. So I'm going to use that color. So I'm going to use this to kind of like allow to have a curve there, kind of like give it a little bit more depth there. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to align them to the tops. And now what I'm going to do on this particular one, I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to click on the subtract tool. So with this, I'm going to say subtract the top. So it's going to subtract. And this is going to then be another area where I can then make this oval as big as I want and fill it in with the same color as well. So this is going to be filled in with the same color. So that becomes my person. And now I just need the black around it. So before I do that, let's just grab it and move it over. And let's edit it a little bit. So how I want it to work. So I'm going to delete some points here. Actually, it is not working the way I want it to. Convert to path. So now it's one big path, so I converted it to path. Now I can click on the points of it and take it apart and delete that point. Delete. So it makes it more of a straight line by deleting those extra points. Oops, deleted one too many. Let's delete that point. The more points you get rid of, the cleaner the lines are. So now I got this one, I can bring this one down so it evens out. So there we go. So here's my image so far. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take this image, and I'm going to want this part to be at front, but this is also going to be part that works as well. So I'm going to take all of this and give it a border of black, and let's change that to the, maybe a little bit bigger. Sorry, let's put 10. So there's my border of 10. So now I need to make the mask for it as well. And I want the mask to stand out. So if I were to make the mask, let me move this out of the way first so I can kind of give it the shape of the mask. So I'm going to use my pen tool for this. And I'm going to come over and go click, 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 click and drag. So there's my mask. And I can stretch it out the way I want it to. I want it to fit, and I can rearrange the points as well. But that's the whole feel of it, you know, with what I'm doing. And remember, we did a 10-point, so we want to make sure that we're matching. And now we can start editing our mask to make it fit within our drawing. So we can come in and start moving things around to make them fit accordingly. So since this was a curve, I can move the curve the way I want it to and move the points the way I want it to as well. So it becomes more of the feel. So this is my coronavirus mask here. I'm going to get rid of some of these points as well to make the curve a little bit better. So I'm kind of liking what I've done so far. I'm going to move it over. I can resize it. There we go. I can group it, group selection. So now that's a group. I'm going to make a box to go behind it. So let's make that box. Let's bring this back up, arrange, bring to the front, bring to the front, bring to front. Arrange, send it back. Okay. Arrange, bring it front. Okay, there we go. So now I can fill this with red, this particular red. For some reason, this got place funny. Get my mask, arrange, bring it to front. There we go with our mask. And now I can change this around a little bit. So one thing I don't like is the hard corners. So I don't like that because Keith Haring didn't have really hard corners like that, but I could come over and, you know, make my accent marks. Don't like the way they're going. I'll make them in the direction here. I'll make accent marks. So I'll make my accent marks looking like they're highlighting that, the hand. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to select that as well on that one. So now I can make that 10-point. So like the others. And there we go. So we got the mask there. I can select my lines again. Let's just select them. And I can rotate it a little bit. And this is really, you know, just an experiment. You know, this is an experiment. So I like the way it's looking. I can give it the same border as well. So it's all consistent, and we're staying consistent with the 10-point border in black. I'm going to drag it up a little bit with the Alt click, and I'm going to send it to the back. Arrange, send to the back, select all, bring to the front, arrange, bring to the front. So now that I have that, I can make this here. And we can make a statement. You know, we can make our statement here. So from here, I'm going to fill it with the same blue color here. And I'm going to say, instead of ignorance is fear, let's actually say masks are essential. I don't know if I spelled that right. Let me see. I like to always do a spell check. Masks are essential. There we go. I am a terrible speller. Spelling was my worst subject. So there we go. So now that we have that, we can then just move it to where it needs to be. Move it. Make it bold. Change the style. You know, you can drag it and make it bigger. I didn't do it, so let's actually size. Let's see, 36. Let's see, bigger, 48. There we go. So this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking for you guys to do today, to spend your time drawing your Keith Haring and give it your own style. So I'm saying masks are essential for our coronavirus right now. If I went to Black Lives Matter, there was a Black Lives Matter picture that I found that I really liked as well. Where was it? So it's here. Here we go. We could copy this image and we can make that as a Black Lives Matter, and we can actually draw that. So let me go ahead and draw that in Gravit as well. So I'm going to paste that here. I'm going to make it small. But this time, rather than, and I'm going to lock it. So I'm going to lock it so it won't move. So this time, rather than creating it with the shapes, I'm going to actually draw it with the pen tool. So I'm going to come over and start drawing it with the pen tool. So I'm going to go like that. And some of them are going to be free lines, and some of them are going to be curved lines, you know. And I'm going to concentrate on drawing one first. So with Keith Haring, once again, it is very simple shapes. And this is art, so you don't have to draw everything that you see. You can draw what you believe is important. So this is your choices, how you want to trim it up and how you want to then make it work. So this is my person. And once I've drawn that person, I'm going to then fix it the way I want and move things the way I want. So I'm going to, once again, use the same color. And let's go 10 point again, see how that works. That's okay. So there's my person. I can move things around in any direction to make it modify for my particular image, to give it space and room to breathe. So I'm rearranging them the way I want, and I can, if I want a perfect circle, I'll just use the ellipse tool and make a perfect circle, maybe for the hands or for the head. Now I'm going to do a simple, pen tool, and I'm going to make a new shape here with the sign. And the sign will, let's actually make the sign in black. We could fill it, in black too. Does white stand out better? White looks a little bit better. So sometimes, if you mess with the colors, you might find other things that actually look better. So now I have the protester ready to put on their sign. I'm going to steal my mask. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to bring it to the front. Move it over my copy. Arrange, bring the front. Arrange, bring to front. I'll take it out of the group. So there it is. Now it's to the front. So if you're having trouble moving things, you can always move them in the palette as well. So there's our mask on our person. There's our sign. Move them. And we can either trace the Black Lives Matter or freehand or type it. So let's actually type it again. Really, I can't type right now. So I'm putting it on cap locks black. Lives. Okay. So let's rotate it a bit. Too much rotation. Bring it down. So now we can control the boldness, we can control the size and how it fits. Weight, size, sizing, spacing. On space. So I'm going to bring the lines together a little bit more. So that allowed me to bring the lines closer there. I can bring this actually arrange and bring our person to so that they're in front of the sign. And there we go. Now what we can do is you can continue drawing other characters to work with it. So you would then draw the other characters in there as well. We can make another box around it, So this is all of what we're doing right now. is we're going to work with Keith Haring. Send it back, select all. Actually, I may not do that. I may bring that behind the text or front of the image. There we go. I moved it within the layers palette. So I'm thinking it's looking a little jaggedy, so I'm going to change that a little bit too. So, but I'm going to give it the color of red and the border of black. 10 points. And we lost our path, so I'm going to move that up a bit. There we go. So I like moving them, and this is something that's new with me in Gravit over here, is moving the layers over there rather than moving it in back and forth. And you're moving them to yourself. So let me get rid of a couple of these points. If I got rid of that point, it makes a cleaner curve. Get rid of that point. It makes a cleaner curve. Let's move that out a bit. Let's move that out a bit. So now that's a cleaner curve. So over here, there we go. So now I'm liking it a little bit more. So now I have a Black Lives Matter banner over here. I have the masks for coronavirus. If you want to do other protests like Blue Lives Matter or Save the Whales or anything else like that, if you did a Save the Whales, what would that look like? If you did for this one over here with the baby, you know, what would that look like with the babies that are currently being held at the border? What would that look like? What would a border wall look like with a Keith Haring image? If Keith Haring was alive right now, what would he be saying? What would he be doing? So that's what I'm looking for those of you who want to take a risk and do something that's a little bit more advanced. And if you don't want to do something that advanced, you can just get a Keith Haring drawing and try to, whether it's your Keith Haring drawing that you did, or whether it's the Keith Haring that you've seen online that you want to recreate. So you're going to either recreate a Keith Haring drawing, recreate the drawing that you did yesterday in Gravit, or you're going to then pick a subject and amplify that subject as if it was you were Keith Haring, and what would it look like? So that's what we're looking to do for today. That's our big assignment for today with Gravit and our drawing assignment. And this is going to take some time. So you're going to need to think about what you're going to do. You're going to need to work within Gravit. I will be in the classroom to help you and coach you in any way, in any direction. And to walk you through the steps as well. So that's my video for today. Let me unlock things. Say unlock image and move it and delete it. So there's my Black Lives Matter image. And I made a Keith Haring protest for it. Here's my other Black Lives Matter. Let me unlock those as well. And my other images, I really didn't use this one. I just used it for the color breakdown, so I'm gonna delete that one. Here's our main one that I use kind of modeling after. And here's our other image. So these are my two images that I created. And this is the Keith Haring that I use to draw. These are the items that I created. So questions from anybody? will be during class. So hopefully this will be a fun last assignment for the week. And it'll give you guys something to work on. If you do not finish in class today, please make sure that you finish it before Saturday, before I do all of my gradings. Make sure you download your file. Download. So I'm gonna call this Keith Haring Black Lives. And I'm gonna save that. And that's our production file in Gravit. And then I'm gonna export it out as well. Export it out a JPEG. And that is gonna be my Keith Haring proof file. So let's see. So Keith Haring Black Lives, and I'm going to change this to JPEG and change this over here on save proof file and save. So now I have the proof file and I have the Gravit file. I like it for a quick drawing. I like it, and it's in the vein of Keith Haring. And let's see what you guys come up with. Let's see what you guys create. I'm really excited to see what you guys are going to create, and I think you're going to do a wonderful job. I know you guys are going to do a wonderful job, and I'm looking forward to seeing your creativity, the colors you're going to choose, the topics, and how you're going to make your topic a Keith Haring inspired drawing. Let's get going. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.